Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to the SFC interviews. Here with former Stevenage centre-back Luke Wilkinson today. So, how's things, Wilco? Obviously, with the COVID pandemic, and of course, we were just touching off stream there. You're at Yeovil, but you're currently out injured at the moment as well. So,
yeah, obviously the whole pandemic thing has been a nightmare for the whole world, really, not just us in England, but football-wise, just to start off with, it was a bit of a nightmare in every situation. Obviously, the season's being stopped, and then we were lucky enough to have a chance to play in the playoffs last year. But yeah, obviously it didn't quite work out for us. But and then this year, weird one. Obviously, no fans in and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not too bad. Need a haircut and a bit of a trip, but apart from that, it's all right.
I think most people do, to be honest. I think was it April the 12th is the day that everyone's got in their diary at the moment. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get back to a bit of normality, won't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So, what were your sort of main factors and deciding reasons in coming to Stevenage? Of course, it weren't too far for you from Luton to move across either, was it?
No, definitely not. I really made it public before. I really enjoyed my time at Luton. Obviously, a new manager came in and he had his own ideas, and he wanted to get rid of a centre half and bring another one in. And I was that centre back, and Stephen has come calling, and I didn't really have to think twice about it. I knew sort of kind of about the club anyway before I'd come. I knew it had a good setup, brilliant training ground and facilities and stuff like that. So, and at that age, moving on in my career, I just wanted to play games, and if I wasn't going to do that at Luton, then I was more than happy to do it at Stevenage.
And of course, you were brought in by Teddy Sheringham as well, who everyone knows from his time at Manchester United, and of course with England. And what was he like as a manager and as a coach?
I didn't have him for too long, to be honest. I think it was about 2 weeks, and then it all changed there. But he, from what I got to know him over those 2 weeks, he's a real nice guy. And all that sort of stuff, and couldn't really speak highly enough of him, to be honest with you. Just as a person and things like that. So no, it was good. And then obviously Darren took over, and we done really well near the end of that season. And the following season, we just missed out on the playoffs.
That's right, we did, and we weren't far away at all, were we? And you were signed. We said about from Luton, and so you knew quite a bit about the club. Had you played against Stevenage as well, or?
Yeah, I played against Stevenage for Luton. I think I played against them for when I was at Dagenham as well, when I was a bit younger. Obviously, I think League One, so close to getting into the Championship, a couple of years running, I think. So it was really a no-brainer for me, and I was living sort of close to the area as well. So it just made sense in all aspects.
And of course, you made your debut against local rivals Barnet as well, keeping a clean sheet on that day. And it's a big game to be thrown into for your debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But what a better way, local derby. Obviously, I think we probably should have won that game as well, to be honest. I think we had a couple of good chances which didn't quite go for us, but it was a good good start for me personally, getting a clean sheet, and went on to play quite a lot of games there.
And of course, we'll touch on it now. I was going to bring it in a little bit later, but we might as well bring it in now. What's the sort of importance of having a solid centre back partner, and right back, left back, good goalkeeper behind you as well?
Oh, it's massive. I think that's the base of any team, to be honest with you. Some centre halves work together, others don't. But I think if you've got a pairing of centre halves really work together with decent fullbacks and a very good goalkeeper behind you as well, the team stands in good stead. Because if you're keeping it solid at the back going forward, it shouldn't be a problem really. Eventually you're gonna score goals, but importantly you've got to keep them out.
And you scored a couple of goals yourself in that game against Northampton there, which we lost that game. I think it was 3-2. I think we lost, but you got yourself your first 2 goals for the club in that game. And what's that like to, obviously you're a centre back by trade, so you want to be keeping a clean sheet as well, but to get a few goals down the other end?
Yeah, scoring one's surprising enough. But to get 2 in one game, that was a bit of a mad day. Obviously, massively disappointed to go on and lose that game. But Northampton were flying that year. They went on and won the league quite comfortably in the end. So, but no, it was nice to get those goals. Obviously, it's always nice to chip in with a goal. But obviously, I'd have preferred it if we had won 1-0 or something like that, and I hadn't scored.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, for a centre back? And of course, was it made easier for you already knowing some of the boys when you were brought in as well? Obviously, Keith Keane was there, Fraser, Ronnie was there as well from who was with you at Luton.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I think it always makes it easier for anyone joining a new club if you know a couple of the lads, or know of people as well. So it always makes it easier to just settle in a little bit quicker and get your head down and crack on with your game.
And we'll touch on Ronnie as well. Now, of course, he's the club's record holder now with over 500 appearances. And what was he like to sort of play alongside and have him as captain as well?
Yeah, he was brilliant. Obviously he's very vocal. He's a brilliant captain. He was a good player as well. I'm not sure if he's still playing now. I'm not sure.
I think he's with Billericay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but no, yeah. When I was playing alongside him, he was, brilliant to play alongside. More experienced than me, obviously, and just the little things like talking to you and being a vocal part of the team, which as a captain you have to be, I suppose. He was a massive help. And
you were brought in as a January signing as well. So what's that like to come in sort of halfway through a season when there's already a settled group?
Yeah, it can be quite hard, but the group were quite welcoming. Sort of got that. I think I was signed on the Thursday evening, so I only had one session and thrown straight into the Barnet game. So it was quite quick. So I was sort of settled in pretty quick. Got to know the lads, trying as quick as possible, and just get on with it.
And of course, you said about Teddy Sheringham there. You were only with him for a little while, and then Darren Sowell came in, and alongside him was, of course, Glenn Roeder as well, who sadly passed away Sunday just gone. And what was Glenn like to have around the place, and a little bit of a message for maybe Glenn's family as well.
Yeah, obviously Glenn, he was a really, really, really good guy. He was a funny man as well. Obviously very, very knowledgeable, football-wise, managed at the top level. And when he spoke to you, listened, and he'll be sorely missed. And obviously my thoughts are with his family at this sad time, really. It was totally out of the blue, I think, for myself anyway. Obviously not as close to him as others, but no, he's a really good guy to know and learn from.
And it was a great mentor for Darren as well, wasn't it? And I'm sure, even now when Darren's with you at Yeovil, he's probably, learnt a few tips and tricks off of Glenn Roeder, which he still uses to this day.
Yeah, I think they're still very, very close from speaking to the gaffer. I think that they were very close still spoke and stuff like that. He Glenn came to one of our games last year at Boro.
Okay.
Watch us, so they were obviously still in contact. Yes, like I said, it's very, very sad that he's passed away.
Absolutely. It was a great guy, wasn't he, as well? Not just, a fantastic football man, but he was a great guy with his supporters as well. He'd always stand and have a chat with you and tell stories and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think we played Accrington away, and it was hammering it down with rain, I think. And I think he went and stood behind the goal with no shelter, and he just stood there with the fans for the whole game. And we were like looking around to see where Glenn was, and he was behind the absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic guy. Of course, big rest in peace and condolences to his family as well. So we'll move on now to your next season with the club, and that was probably your best goal scoring season as well, wasn't it? You got a few goals against Barnet and against Cheltenham as well, and Leyton Orient, and also against Luton as well. You actually scored against Luton away, I think it was.
Yeah, that was. I remember that one because I think I broke my nose doing that one. That one hurt a little bit, but it was well worth it. That day was brilliant, to go there. I think we were absolutely flying at that point as well. I think we were something like 10 or 11 games won on the bounce. To go there and get a 2-0 win, they were doing well as well at the time, Luton. So to go there and get a win like that was brilliant, and to in front, away from home, but we took a big following. No, it was a brilliant day all round, and just like I said before, it's nice to chip in with goals, but keeping them out of the other end's more important.
That's right, and most of those games were clean sheets as well for you, so it's kind of a nice sort of bonus to get a goal and to get the clean sheet too.
Yeah, definitely, and I think when it's run like that, it's the momentum. It's so hard for other teams to sort of knock that momentum, I don't think maybe we ran out of a little bit of steam near the end because we played quite a lot of the same team week in, week out, and there was a lot of games. Maybe we ran out of steam a little bit near the end, but to go on that run, I think it ended up being like 13 games or something like that. It was just incredible. Like the feeling around the place was unbelievable. And
of course, there was some real talent in that squad as well. We touched on Ronnie earlier, but there was loads more. There was obviously Daisy and Tom Pat, who's back with the club now as well, and Michael Tong as well, and many others. But Joby McAnuff, another one as well. So what do you make of the fact that McAnuff's gone into management now with Leyton Orient?
Yeah, I think you could always sort of see him going into that sort of role. He always spoke well, as you can see from like him being on the telly now as well. I could always see him going down that sort of route of managing, maybe coaching and building himself up towards that. And I think it would suit him down to the ground. I think he's very knowledgeable sort of guy. I think he'll do well at it.
And of course, you played alongside current manager as well, Alex Revell, and Alex is doing a very good job actually. In since Christmas, he's got a real solid group of lads there and getting some really good results. We were talking on Tuesday night, and was it Wednesday morning actually, wasn't it, about the Forest Green game and about how fantastic that was. It was a fantastic win over a side that are absolutely flying.
Yeah, and I think it goes to show that if you give young up and coming managers a chance, and give them time as well. I think time these days with managers is the most important thing, because a bad run doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? And you can start seeing the fruit for his labour. I suppose the hard work that he puts in with the players on the training pitch, getting them to play how he wants, and working on certain things, and it's starting to look up. Obviously keep an eye on the results, and I think Tuesday night's results a massive result, because Forest Green have been going well this year, and that the results since Christmas have really picked up. But for me it just proves that time, giving people time is massive.
Absolutely right, and of course with Dean Wilkins coming in as well, another name that a lot of people around the game know and are familiar with, and he came in just around about that sort of time as well. So that's going to have a big impact on obviously Alex Revell, having somebody with that sort of nous and experience around him too. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's never going to hurt, is it? If you've got more people around you with experience than what you've got yourself, it's and I'm not saying Revs hasn't got any experience. He had a brilliant football career, and he's seen enough managers throughout his career to know what he's doing. But to have someone like that who's maybe got a little bit more on the managerial side, coaching side, it will be brilliant for him, and it seems to be working.
And so we'll touch on your third season with the club now, and I think you only scored one. I think it was one goal, and that was actually against Forest Green as well. I think we lost that game 3-1, and we said about the impact of that, with Dean Wilkins and Alex Revell now. But of course, there's a few of your former teammates that were involved there as well. Danny Newton got himself a brace that day.
Yeah, Newt's a real good guy. He'll score goals as well. I think he's really liked by the Stevenage fans as well. So he puts everything into whenever he walks over the white line, let's say, and he puts everything he's got into the game. And that's all I think that's all fans and players in your team they ask for. You give everything you've got, but like Danny's proved, he scores goals when he's given a chance.
Absolutely, and of course he's been out injured for a while as well, and it's going to be, that's going to be fantastic for him to get those few goals now, and he's got a bit of a solid run in the team as well, so he's kind of putting that behind him. And of course, I think he's had a real rough sort of 18 months to 2 years, so if he can finish the season strongly, that will really put him in good stead for next year as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was still at the club when he was struggling. I think it was an ankle. He was struggling with it, and it's taken him a long while to get back to sort of fully feeling right again, I think. But now I'm buzzing for him. It seems to be going right for him again now, and long may it continue.
And of course, you played alongside Ben Wilmot as well. He played a few games alongside you at centre back, and
Yeah.
sort of when did you know that Ben was going to be the real deal and kind of push on and go and have the career that he's had? It's an early career, and he'll go on and no doubt go even higher. But it's a great career already, really getting into the Championship and playing some Premier League, and I think he played internationally for the under-21s as well, didn't he? So
no, you could tell Ben had a lot of he could go on and play higher, which he has, and you could see that from early stage, to break in the team at such a young age, and stay in the team as well. It wasn't just here and there and in and out. He stayed in the team week in, week out. It was Jack King next to him or myself. He was playing week in, week out, and it's obviously helped him to push on to the next level now, where he's at Watford. I think he's had a loan spell I think he went to Swansea. Did he go to Swansea?
Yes, he was at Swansea for a while, yeah.
That probably helped him as well when they were in the Watford, obviously in the Premier League. So going there and playing Championship, and then this year he seems to have played a lot more games for him, and they're having a decent season. And
of course, there was that one goal I think he scored. I'm sure it was in the Welsh derby against Cardiff.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
I
bet that was a good day.
Absolutely, and of course, you touched on obviously Ben there, and how important is it for some of these football clubs to give the youngsters an opportunity to break through as well? Like, obviously, you've probably seen it firsthand with Yeovil at the moment.
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, if they're good enough, why not? Obviously, I know you want a bit of experience in there as well, but there's no harm with putting a young lad in. As long if they're good enough, I don't see why not. Play them. If it's going to give you a better chance of winning, play these young lads. They're fearless, and it can only help their development. And as you've seen with Ben, go on to bigger and better things and make the club they've come from a bit of money.
And we had a really good FA Cup campaign that season as well, fairly similar to what we've had this season, really, getting through to the third round and drawing against Reading at home and then taking them to the replay before, obviously, we got knocked out. But that was the game with Swindon, where we sort of tore Swindon apart here and we beat them 5-2, didn't we? So
Yeah. I think I remember Danny Newton's goal that day, running off from his own
half. Yeah.
And slotting it in. Yeah, it was good. And the Reading game at home, we should have beat them. We should have. We dominated the game really. We should have. It's a tough task going away to I think Championship team and who are pushing for a Premiership spot or whatever it was at the time, and it's a tough place to go. But the home game, we should have definitely won that one.
And of course, we played Reading a few times as well and knocked them out of the FA Cup a couple of times. And so it's obviously their time to get a little bit of revenge on us, I suppose. But you also played alongside Scott Cuthbert as well, and some of the other boys that are there, Luther Wilding, and of course, Joe Martin's now back with the club as well.
Yeah. I seen Joe had returned. I haven't really spoke to Joe or anyone like Scotty or Luther, but obviously to see the season last year and then to see it sort of start slow this year and then turn it around, I'm more than happy for them. It's good to see them doing well and turning things around, because I think a lot of people can give up hope on certain people and things like that, and I think it's nice for people to prove people wrong again, and because you don't turn a bad player overnight, and bad results don't reflect one person, it's a whole group thing. So buzzing for him to be doing well and getting decent results again.
And of course, those three all played on Tuesday, and we're all part of that clean sheet and that victory as well. So they're doing very, very well. I think that's 3 clean sheets on the bounce for them as well now.
Yeah, I've seen it. Is the away games you've kept about 4 clean sheets on the bounce as well? So
I think so. Yeah.
Like that. So no, it's you know, that's like I said earlier on. It's the base of the team is the defence and keeping clean sheets, and then you can build from there. And they seem to be being real tight at the back.
And of course, Scotty was captain as well. So what was it like to obviously have Scott as a leader? And did you know much about him? Was he with you at Luton at all as well? Or
yeah, I played with Scotty at Luton as well. Similar, really. You know, he is a leader of men. Brilliant communicator. Like you give everything. You know, so it's and obviously when he was at Luton, he obviously won. They won the league. Did they win the league? Yeah, they won the league.
Yeah, they won the league. Yeah, they got promoted. Yeah.
They won the league at Luton, so and he was captain there as well. So, you know, he's got real good experience of, you know, leading teams to success. So, and why not at Stevenage?
Absolutely, and of course we've got some real other fantastic players in that squad as well, and you know, including some low knees from higher divisions as well. We're all having an impact at the moment. But so in your final season, of course, we were very unlucky not to make the playoffs under Dino, and that was, you know, we finished the season there very strongly with Ilias Chair coming in, and of course Curtis up front, and then we had that back line who were fantastic defensively as well. Obviously, Paul in goal and Luther and you know, you and Scotty and obviously Nutra come in a bit as well, and obviously Joe and stuff. And it was a real good end to the season, but you know, we were only like 1 point off, or was it even goal difference off getting into the playoffs? Yeah,
it was a hell of a run near the end of the season. I think we went to Lincoln, who were right up there, and I think we were 2-0 down and ended up getting back to 2-2 last minute. But
that game was mad. I remember watching it on the iFollow, and Ilias was on fire. We should have had about 5.
He was just ridiculous. He was too good for the level, to be honest. And obviously he's playing week in, week out now for QPR, so just proves the point. But he was superb. Some of the goals he scored were ridiculous. Yeah. I think the halfway line one against Swindon as well.
Yeah, but that was the game that Ronnie come on to break the record, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but that goal at the second goal at Lincoln was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and as I said there, he should have had about 4 or 5 in that game. You know, I think it was just the keeper that stopped it from being, you know, we could have gone and they were top of the league at the time and flying, and we could have actually beat them 4 or 5-2 as well.
Yeah, well, I think he scored. We got back to 2-2, and then he had another chance just after, and the keeper's made a brilliant save. So we could have gone on to win it 3-2 from being 2-0. Yeah. Like I said, Lincoln is a tough place to go, but to go there and get that sort of result and keep a bit of momentum going to try and push to the playoffs was brilliant.
And of course, you know, what have you made of some of the off the pitch stuff at Boro as well that's been happening with the community? And obviously through the pandemic, there's, you know, been a lot of work being done in supporting the local community and sort of, you know, the surrounding areas of Stevenage and, you know, Hitchin and places like that.
No, it's absolutely brilliant. Obviously, people are on their own. People in to feed themselves, and you know, it's anything a football club can do to help out their local community is massive, really. You know, I don't think a lot of football clubs don't realise how much people appreciate it. I think so. For Stevenage to be doing all the way through is absolutely superb.
And of course, that was, you know, they've done it again as well. They had the through the first lockdown was when they really were quite big into getting it all out there in terms of the food deliveries and things like that. But the helpline's been running the whole time, all the way through 24/7.
No, like you said, like the food and that, you know, that's brilliant. But also having a chance to just pick up the phone, and speak to someone, can change someone's day around like that. You know, someone could be feeling really down. All they've got to do is pick up a phone and talk. For mental health and everything, really, you know, it can just make someone have a different outlook on how they're feeling that day.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a big impact. Just the chat, you know, even if it's just out in the street, even, and somebody says hello to you, it makes a big difference. Yeah,
100%. You know, I think that act of kindness can go a long way for a lot of people. So, no, it's good.
And of course, you're still playing, as we said, under Darren Sale at Yeovil as well. Of course, you watched on as your side beat Barnet 4-1 on Tuesday as well. And you know, how do you sort of analyse that game, and where do you reckon you can finish the season with Yeovil? Do you reckon you can have a real good go at getting into the playoffs and getting yourself promoted?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the start of the season we started really slow. I think the first 10 games we drew 5, lost 5. Maybe a hangover from the playoffs. It's just like weird feeling around the whole thing really this season, but it wasn't good enough. We picked up massively of late. We're getting some real good results, and no disrespect to Barnet, but we went there on Tuesday night expecting to win. We got the job done, and our sights are set firmly on the playoffs. And finishing as high up the league as we possibly can, because we got in the playoffs last year and failed, and we don't want to fail this year.
No, absolutely. And it's you were very unlucky last season as well. I remember watching those 2 games.
Yeah, Barnet at home, we absolutely how we haven't scored is just ridiculous. We had so many chances. I think I hit the bar myself from a corner, and it just wasn't falling for us. And then they have 2 shots and they score both of them. And it was just one of those days. It just it wasn't meant to be. But I think it makes you a stronger character to come back and prove people that you can do it again, and go one step further this time. And
was it only played over one leg then?
Yeah. So National League, it's an eliminator. So second and third go straight to the semi-finals, and then 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th play an eliminator, and then they go and play against second and third, and then the final. So that's
a bit of a different way of doing it, but it's adds a bit of spice, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's different. I think it gives more teams a chance to play for something, I suppose. We've only been 2 spots up for grabs to go up, so it's such a hard league to get out of. But if you can get a bit of consistency, which we seem to be at the minute, it can fire you right up the league and hopefully get back into the Football League.
Absolutely. Of course, the impact of the supporters not being there, you touched on earlier as well, and that's obviously the playoffs there was without fans, wasn't it, as well? You didn't have any fans in there at Yeovil. And so what's that like for a player to obviously walk out there and, you haven't got the atmosphere, you haven't got the buzz, you've just got to try and get yourself up for it?
Yeah, it was obviously it's hard sometimes. Like the fans play a massive part in that for a lot of players. Gets you sort of adrenaline going and all that sort of stuff, and you're up for the game. Not that you're not up for it anyway, but without fans, you sort of have to. There is a little bit of self motivation, because you've got to have self motivation anyway.
Yeah.
Even with fans, but that you've got to have a little bit more. Let's say. But it's starting to kind of get used to it now. Just walking out onto a pitch and there's no one out there to.
It'd be weird for you when the fans actually are back in again. You'd be like, when the first game that the fans are all back, you'd be like, who are these lot?
It's gonna be strange to go back to having fans, but wouldn't have it any other way. Football's not football without fans.
And of course, they play a big part, don't they? Supporters in helping you to push on, and if you're looking for an equaliser or trying to hold on to a lead, etc.
Yeah, definitely. And the level we play at, you hear everything said as well. So quite funny at times, but no, like you said, like if you're looking for a goal or you're looking for an equaliser or to get back in the game, or you're not doing your job properly, you're told pretty quick. But you wouldn't have it any other way, because that's football, and that's what football is all about. Everyone having.
That's right, and I can't not talk to you and not mention the game against Morecambe as well when you were at Stevenage, and of course you got the late goal that day, didn't you? So that was I'm sure that was a fantastic moment for you to obviously help the side get a result there, and it was there were some scenes after, weren't there, as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. On the bench and hadn't played as much as I'd like, but I was still sort of focused on if I'm going to come on, I need to do my job, and we ended up in it. It flew into the back of the net in the last minute to keep the run sort of going, the playoff push, and no, it was a real good feeling, sort of to come off the bench and make an impact was really nice.
And of course, that's it's great to obviously get that goal there as well, and to help the side get those points and keep the run going, as you said. So what else have we got to cover? So of course, what's it like for a player? Obviously, going back to Stevenage and with the Lamex really in particular, on a Tuesday night when there's obviously the East Terrace in full swing, and how much better do you think that atmosphere will be now once the fans are back in? Obviously, with the new North Stand as well.
Oh, yeah, obviously, I've been. First of all, the Tuesday night games are brilliant at Stevenage. The atmosphere is real good. The fans really get going. When the pandemic opened, I think you'll see more football fans through the gates, really, to be honest with you, because I think a lot of people have missed going to watch games. Maybe people who go now and again will go a little bit more because they haven't had the chance to do it for a year and a bit. So it's it's good, and obviously, now with the new stand as well, people want to go and see that for the first time or sit in it or whatever. But no, I think not being there, but seeing it from stuff, it makes it around the idea and a better place to play football.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a lot different when you go back there now. There was obviously that tester game with the fans there to see. So they've been working on a few things even now. And obviously they've got things in place for when fans are allowed to return, and it's going to be so much better now because obviously that was the stand before years ago where you could only get a few hundred people in there now, but now you've got 4 really good stands if you include the away stand as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's a you could say a proper football stadium now. Not that it wasn't before, but to have a lovely, nice new stand in there now with a bar underneath, stuff like that for the fans. I think it makes the experience a lot more better for fans coming to watch a game as well, which is nice, because all these sort of grounds now are that way, aren't they? Bars under the stadium, fans going in early to make the club a bit more money, and I think that's what it's all about, really. Is fans are in there earlier. You can watch, Sky Sports on TV, have a beer and a bit of food or whatever before the game. People will do it, so that's only a good thing.
Most definitely. And, have you always been involved in football yourself from, a very young age, or is it something you got into a little bit later on?
No, I started when I was 10. Well, that's a lie. I started when I was younger than that, but at that time, the first team was under 11, so I played a year up when I was 10. And then that end of that season, I got scouted by Bristol City. So I went on trial there. About 2 weeks into my trial, I signed a 4-year deal. So they signed me on a 4-year deal straight away. So when I was there till I done my scholarship there, so I went all the way from under 11s up to under 18s. So, and then moved on from there.
And of course, who were your sort of role models and inspirations when you were growing up as well? Excuse me.
I absolutely loved Man United when I was a kid. So it was, your David Beckhams, people like that, Roy Keanes, people. Who else was there back playing then? Yap Stam, people like that. So, but at that time I was a midfielder, so Scholes as well, Giggs, all them.
Nicky Butt, yeah.
All them. So I played centre midfield back then, but obviously as I've got older, things have changed.
And of course, do you reckon you could do a job in midfield still, or do you reckon you'll just stick at centre back now? Stick at the back. Chuck yourself up for a last minute equaliser or a last minute winner if you need to.
Yeah.
But so just the last couple of questions really. So you played over 100 times for Stevenage as well. So how does that feel to obviously be a part of and not too many players that have played over 100 times for the football club?
No, it's brilliant. Obviously, when I was looking at it, I was at Dagenham. I think I played 60 or 70 games there, and then Luton, I think I played 70 odd games there. And then I was thinking, God, there's got to be a club I end up making over 100 appearances for, and it's happened. It happened at Stevenage, which is a real nice feeling because it doesn't happen very often these days to make over 100 appearances for one club. So no, it was a nice feeling. I didn't actually realise until I left, that I'd made that many. So it was nice to
And we
find.
had one message come through on Twitter as well from at British Lion 74. So going by the name of Cardiff Rugby. If you could have brought any player you played with to play alongside you during your time at Stevenage, who would that have been and why?
Ooh, it's a tough one. Just signed players or loan players as well?
Any loans, signed, anything, yeah.
I think you would have to say Ilias Chair, wouldn't you? I think he was unbelievable in that spell. I think you would have him in, especially in our team at Yeovil. You would definitely have him in there for sure.
And Matt there as well. It says the favourite goal for Boro, and he's put Luton away.
100. Definitely. No,
even though you scored for Luton at Stevenage too, yeah, we won't touch on that. We'll end it on that.
Yeah, no, it was that was a good thing, that one.
So thank you for taking some time out this afternoon, Luke, and best of luck with your recovery as well. Hopefully you're not out for too long, and you're able to get back in and help Yeovil into that promotion. Challenging, position through the playoffs, and hopefully we'll be back in the Football League again soon as well.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, Luke.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.